This is the Financial Freedom Pod. I'm Bruce Whitfield, and I'm joined, as always, by Warren Ingram, who's a certified financial planner. How much money do I need to retire? And to me, you want billions so that you can have the best retirement Barbie style ever in the world, but that's not realistic. So what is our financial freedom number?
It's the number that suits us and the life that we want to live. So I think just to understand, for some people, they want to, they dream of the private jet lifestyle, and for them, their financial freedom number is way bigger than for someone else who says, I'm happy to live a simple life in a small town, and kind of spend more time in nature and less time on buying fancy stuff. So it's the number that you need to suit the life that you want to live. And it will be different for all of us, but the way we calculate it is exactly the same.
How do we get to a number that says, I've got that amount of money, I can stop working on a particular day, and I know that I'm not going to need to worry?
So what you do is you take your expenses over a year. So everything that you spend on your accommodation, your food, your entertainment, all of those things, your transport most importantly, and you put that all together and you work it out over how much do you spend over a year. The important thing to add there would be the expenses that you incur that don't happen in every single year. So for example, some people buy a car every 5 years. So what you need to do is say, if a car costs me 100,000 every 5 years, divide that by 5 and say 1/5 of that now I need to put into my annual expenses. And then you've got your number, the amount that you spend in a year, and that's determined by the lifestyle you're living. And most importantly, it's the key calculation for how much you're going to need over time. And what you do with that annual number is very simple. Get your calculator, times it by 25. When you get that number, that is your financial freedom number.
At what point do you do this calculation? Because if I do this calculation at 25, it's going to be very different to the calculation I do at 55, and certainly different to the calculation I'm going to do at 65.
My suggestion is you do it every year. And you do it in the same month every year so that you get a measure of consistency. So what you want to do is you want to see that every year the gap between what you're aiming for and what you have is getting smaller. And that's all you're worrying about in the financial freedom part. Am I narrowing that gap day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? Because if you're making progress, it's one small step to getting to that number.
It's a wonderful checklist, and it keeps you on point, I think, Warren. So what is the first step we take in this process of calculating this financial freedom number?
Take all your expenses, all of the money that you're going to spend in a normal year, not what you think you should be spending, but what you really are. Annualize the ones that don't happen in a year. So make sure that you've got all of your infrequent expenses that come in every 2 or 3 years. Put them all together, get that annual number, times it by 25, put that number on your wall and start working towards it.
Warren Ingram, certified financial planner, and Bruce Whitfield, the Financial Freedom Pod, taking micro steps to your financial freedom.